Welcome to Good Books Lately. I'm Taylor.
And I'm Branden.
And we are ready to share with you guys some books that we've been reading, some books we've finished, some books we're currently reading, and some compelling pickups that we've recently acquired that we can't wait to share with you guys. I also got a brand new reading journal that I'm really excited about, and I want to pop that in here and share it with you guys because it really is the perfect reading journal for me. So we're going to add that in as well.
Perfect.
I think you should have a reading journal too.
I do.
Maybe there's one. Oh, that's true. You have your own little book. Okay, cool. Well, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to begin with the segment we like to call Done and Dusted. That means we have finished reading these books. And believe it or not, I'm not going to show you what they are, but I have read, and you have read, 3. Look at this. Look at the nondescript parts of the book. It's like a whole thing that's going on with like BookTube, but we've each finished 3 books.
3.
You want to go first?
Sure.
All right.
All right. We talked about this one last time.
The Spy
and the Traitor by Ben McIntyre.
Okay.
KGB spy turns MI6 double agent during the Cold War, or towards the end of the Cold War and the fall of the Soviet Union. Really cool. Nonfiction. Loved it.
Nonfiction that reads like fiction, right?
Nonfiction that reads a little bit like fiction. It's more telling the story of this guy, but really cool. Get some in-depth knowledge on kind of the spy workings of both MI6, the CIA is in there, as well as the KGB. So history, things like that.
Watch really our previous videos because we've talked. Branden's talked more about this book as well
100%.
in some of the past ones.
And I gave it 5 stars.
5 stars.
Really enjoyed it.
What does it take to give a book 5 stars for you? Like this is Goodreads rating 5 stars. So what is it?
If I really enjoyed it, I finished it obviously, and I enjoyed it, and I didn't have any kind of qualms about trying to get through it, and then it gets 5 stars. It was good.
That's fair. I like it. That's
All
good.
right. What's your first
You want me to do my first one? Okay.
Yeah.
My first finished read since we last met was The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas. And you guys, so I loved this book so much that I went ahead and I bought the hardback on Pango Books.
Pango.
This one I got on Pango Books for $8, which is fantastic. And I took my paperback version that I actually read. So I haven't actually read this physical copy, but the paperback version is in our free little library right now for somebody else to enjoy. And I'm so excited to have both this and then one that I'm reading right now because the book is beautiful. The cover of this book, I mean, look at this. How beautiful is this cover? And I'm telling you, this cover art does so much to kind of illustrate the mood and the vibe of this book. Yeah. And I love it so much. I'll have to show you. I painted myself a little bookmark inspired by the cover of this book.
And I had to make pozole.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so really quick, synopsis of this book. A young woman is kind of not forced, but she has to make do so that she can survive in post-Mexican independence Mexico after her father, who was working with the insurgents, gets assassinated, and so she and her mother are trying to survive. Well, anyway, she finds herself in a position of a potential where she can woo this he's like the patron of a agave hacienda, and she knows that if she can get herself wrapped up with this guy and put a ring on it, she can kind of set herself up and her mother for like a comfortable future. Okay, so she does this. She gets herself involved with this guy and moves in to his hacienda. Well, his hacienda isn't all that it's cracked up to be, or at least it's not what it seems. Things get really spooky and ghosty, and that's all I'm going to say. If you've read Rebecca and you liked that, this book kind of takes, it's like a Rebecca with gothic fantasy involved. There's some witchcraft going on in here. It takes place in the Mexican hacienda, in like the Chaparral region, all of this. And they eat pozole like on the regular. I'm telling you, this book is beautiful. I loved this book. Okay, I'm done. Done and dusted. I'm done. I loved it so much.
Done.
I'm done and dusted. Okay, done. What's your next one?
My next one, if you looked at the...
Hold on, I didn't get focus there. Oh, wait. Just a minute. It thinks you're so handsome, it just wants to focus on you. Okay, got it.
Yeah, if you watched the last episode on the channel, I went through all the Star Wars books I own, and kind of talk
Not
about
our
them.
most popular video to date, but it's
Totally
okay.
understandable.
We
But
get it.
I mentioned that I was reading this one. I also mentioned I read it on, or was reading it on the last one.
Yeah.
Finished it shortly after we did that video. I loved it. Kind of what I wanted out of the Alphabet Squadron books. There's plenty more of these to come as well. So I'll be picking and choosing these as I go. But yeah, just after the fall of the Empire, Rogue Squadron led by Wedge Antilles goes and tries to keep the New Republic forces going and moving towards eliminating the rest of the remnants of the Empire. Really cool. Very cool storytelling and kind of space combat. So I love it.
I love the way that you manhandle a paperback. Just the way you slap it around. And then it fits in his pocket.
Yeah, this one's a small one.
I like it.
But I gave this one 5 stars as well because it's a Star Wars. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I enjoyed it. It was fun and easy and entertaining. So yeah,
that was good.
That's
Nicely
my
done.
done and dusted number 2.
Done and dusted number 2 for me. I got to go in order here. Oh, you guys. I'm sorry. I get so attached to good books, and this one was the second in the Shepherd King duology by Rachel Gillig. This is a fantasy. You can call it a romantasy all you want, but I'm telling you, it's much more than that. And that is Two Twisted Crowns. This is the second, like I said, in the Shepherd King duology. I've not read a lot of fantasy, but I will tell you, she knows how to write fantasy because she wrapped up an amazing story. It was so rich and so full of like plot and character development and atmosphere, and the magic system is really unusual and unique, and she wrapped it up in 2 books.
So there's not a third.
There's not a third
no
book,
even like a little,
and you
like,
don't even feel like there's plot holes or anything like that.
Not like a little cliffy hanger thingy there just in
and
case.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I would love to read more just because I feel like I loved the story so much, but I feel completely satisfied in 2 books, and I feel like I had such an amazing experience reading both of these. You have these authors that are writing like 12 fantasy books in one series, and I'm like, really, what? She did such a great job with 2 books. If you want to ease your way into fantasy, I know. And I'm like, this is smart. Listen, you don't need to keep like stretching it out just so people buy your books, because like 3 or 4 of those books are going to be lousy. I've not read A Court of Thorns and Roses. I don't know what I'm talking about. But this, however, I do know is fantastic. So if you are trying to kind of get yourself into romantasy, fantasy, you guys, it's so good. I will be telling people about this book forever. Easy 5 stars. The first one 5 stars. This was 5 stars. I would read it again. I would recommend it to people.
You got your mom reading it.
I got my mom reading it, and she even started out. She's not a fantasy reader, but she started out reading it, and she wasn't so sure. Not this one, but the first one. But she got to that same point where I remember when I told you I was like reading it and I'm just feeling it out. The first one. There's a point where you go from feeling it out to just being absolutely enraptured. And it's all bets are off at that point. So this is fantastic. So this is Two Twisted Crowns, second in the Shepherd King duology by Rachel Gillig. I gave it 5 stars. I thought it was fantastic. I could read the notes. Just go read my review.
Yeah.
I don't want to take up all the time. It was so good.
All right. My last one that I've read, if you guys watched one of the things we did, I was on the search for this because I wanted to take part in the Books Are Sick Patreon book club for the month of June, and it was Jurassic Park. I've seen the movie multiple times, never read the book, but the hype in that Patreon for Books Are Sick was going. People were reading it before May was even over. I got my hands on it. I read it when we started our vacation just recently when in Michigan with my family.
Right.
Read it on the plane on the way there, read it while we were there, finished it on the plane back. 4 days, knocked it out. So cool. For you, if you've seen the movie and not read the book, you can read the book and still be just suspense-filled thriller, just on the edge of your seat while reading it, want to know what is going to happen next. The pacing of it is amazing.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, you can kind of just find yourself like just wanting to get to the next page. There's you don't feel like you're slugging through a long chapter just to get to a stopping point. There's little stopping points along the way, but then you're like, might as well just keep going.
Yeah.
So next thing you know, you read 120 pages in it. Really cool description of like different types of sciences that don't necessarily go over your head, but it could. But it doesn't feel bad if it does. You're like, okay, I get it. I'm not supposed to get it. The characters in this book are similar to the same characters in the movie, obviously, but way more like you are. Oh, I really like that character. Oh, I really hate that character.
More fleshed out.
Yeah, a little bit more fleshed out. There's no like ambiguity to them. You get an understanding. Really cool. Loved it. It's so much so that it has inspired me to read more Michael Crichton books. Picked up a couple. Your mom lent me a copy of something. So yeah,
We'll talk about those in a future video.
Yeah, but yeah, super good. 5 stars on this one as well.
And
all three,
because of this being like finished tonight, we are watching Jurassic Park with the kids, and we have some Jurassic Park nonsense going on back here. And there's Velociraptors on his shirt. It was an early Father's Day present. It looks so good. I like
nice.
it.
Yeah, love it.
Nicely. Okay, cool. So done and dusted.
Done and dusted. Done and dusted.
Was that it? All of yours?
That's all of mine. Oh, you have one more. Yeah.
I have one more. Okay, so this one was kind of out of left field. When we were packing to go on our Michigan trip, I had this on the shelf, and we're going for a family reunion. We're all going to be staying in this house. I was like, I have a book that when I finished Two Twisted Crowns, because I knew I would be kind of appropriate for this, and that is Diavolia. This is considered. It's considered a horror. You find it in the horror section. I would say that it's more thriller, psychological. I don't even know if I would call it psychological horror, but more of like a psychological thriller with like psychological paranormal thriller, whatever.
Yeah.
It's by Jennifer Thorne. One sentence synopsis: a family meets up in Tuscany to spend a vacation at this villa. Well, when they arrive at the villa, and honestly telling you this, this happens very quickly in the story. Not only are they greeted with all of their kind of family dysfunction, but there's something off with the house that becomes really apparent to the main character pretty quickly, and it definitely ventures into like paranormal ghosty stuff, ancient Italian villa ghosts, I don't know, and it's super creepy. This cover is very creepy. I took a lot of notes about this one because in the beginning, there were things about this that bugged me. I feel like the writing was kind of terse in the beginning. One thing that bothered me, there's reference to an Italian Renaissance painter in here by the name of Jacopo Saleo. And his work is mentioned, and his work is what is kind of influencing this painting that you see on the front here. And it was called, in the book, it's called The Florentine Woman Painted in 1500. What bothered me about this is that Jacopo Saleo died in 1493, and there was no such painting of that.
Broke the immersion.
Yeah, it kind of did break the immersion a little bit. I have no problem with making up like fake history or whatever. It's fine. But for whatever reason, I felt like you could have gone with something that did exist.
Or at least existed during his lifetime.
Yeah, or at least during his lifetime. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm talking about maybe this is a fictional Jacopo Saleo. Because the place that she stays in this villa is called Monteperso. There is no such place in Italy. The actual place is Montepertuso. I don't know, just those little shifts kind of bugged me.
Timeline.
It was, and it's fine. Read my review of this one. I gave it 4 stars. Despite all of these little things, it did what it was supposed to do. It was creepy and compelling. I flew through this. I read this in 2 days, and that wasn't because it was a train wreck read where you just can't stop reading it. I really wanted to know what was going to happen, and I was interested. And even though I don't like the main character, you really start to kind of sympathize with her and feel pity for her as the story progresses. It's a lot. There's a lot that goes on in the story. But yeah, it is compelling and creepy in equal measure. And yeah, I flew through it in 2 days. So take that for what it is. 4-star review. That's it.
All right.
I'm like off the rails with my done and dusted today.
Yeah, but we're now done and dusted. With done and dusted.
Yeah, done. Right? Okay, good. So we're gonna move on to Bookmarked, and that is what we are currently reading.
Yeah.
Take it away.
All right. Well, I will start with one that was on our June TBR to be read. I'm starting the Dark Tower series by Stephen King. Starting with book number 1, The Gunslinger. I'm leaving this one. I read this in the evenings and before bed.
And it's giving you dreams.
Oh, it's rough, but
it's rough.
But I picked these up like kind of as a set of like 3 books from Plume Publishing, which includes the illustrations, which I love this. I don't.
They're so cool.
Oh,
Go down more to the bottom. Here, wait, let me see.
Yeah, let's see.
Turn
Oh
it
yeah,
towards
let's see.
that.
There
Look
we
at
go.
those cool illustrations.
Yeah, like hand-drawn illustrations, and then full color ones too on some pages. Really cool. I've been
Show
told.
one of the full color ones.
Okay, I'll show one.
Some folks want to see some of the illustrations. They're glossy pages.
Right, this one, let's see. Okay, yeah, it's called the Gunslinger, so he's slinging guns here.
He's slinging bodies. What is this?
Yeah, he just mowed down a bunch of people. I just got through that part, but
Get the book.
really
Get the
cool.
book. Hold on, I gotta fix something.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
Really cool. I know that there's been people, when I've mentioned this online or other places, that I was starting the Gunslinger, that they go, oh, the first one's kind of the slower, the one that you get past the first book, then you get into the second, and the series really picks up from there.
Yeah.
But a big reason why I started reading it is because of my brother.
Hi, Bryce.
Hi Bryce.
He watches.
Yeah, we've been, going back and forth for many years now. We did a couple times where we read the same book and talked about it, but he always told me that the Dark Tower series was his favorite, or one of his favorite series, and so I've always been meaning to kind of pick it up and start reading it. So now I am, and so yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's quick. I think it's only like 200 something pages. It's not super small print or anything, so I feel good about reading it, and I'm having fun. So.
Are you having a fun?
I'm having a fun.
Having a fun.
Having a fun time reading.
Do you do the thing with your bookmark where the picture on the front of the bookmark faces the page?
Yeah,
that
whatever
you
I
left
think
off
is the
on?
front of the bookmark goes towards the page I left
page
off
you
on.
left off on, yeah.
And then if I can, even get a little deeper, if I left off mid-page, I try to leave
Oh,
the page.
so you push it up and down depending on where you
so
are on the
sometimes
page.
it's up here.
Wait, you leave off mid-page?
Yeah, I'll leave off mid-page. Well, we have kids, so it's I'm interrupting. Or this is at bed. I'm just
That's true. Oh my gosh. That's
sleeping.
a good point. Okay.
Yeah, so that's
Touche.
bookmark number 1.
Fair enough. All right, cool. Bookmark number 1. My bookmark number 1. I just started this today. Okay. So this was not on my June TBR to be read, but once I finished the Hacienda and got a gander at the cover of this book, I knew I had
Judging
to
it
read it.
by its cover.
Yes, because look how beautiful this is.
Sunk in.
Y'all, this is Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Cañas, the same writer of the Hacienda. Can we just for a minute, hold on. These two books, if you don't, how beautiful are these books, you guys? They're beautiful. Anyway, just started reading this one today. I moved some things around in my June TBR. I'm also reading another one, which is part of my June TBR, but this one was not, so it's fine. Remember, we mentioned that.
Totally.
This is, let me tell you what it says here. Vampires and vaqueros face off on the Texas-Mexico border in the supernatural Western from the author of the Hacienda. That's good, right?
Sold it.
Yeah,
For you.
there's vampires. There's the Mexican Hacienda. There's 1840s Mexico.
More Pozzoli, possibly.
Probably, but it's just such a beautiful setting.
Yeah.
And I love it. And I've just started, and I'm so into it.
No, it's great.
I love where it's going. I love the start. We start with two dear bosom friends, a Nestor and Nina, boy and a girl that are both 13 years old, and something happens, and kind of in the beginning, that this is where the love part of this comes in. But you guys, it's just so good so far. I'm loving this so far. I don't think I have, you know what? There was a word that was used in here that I had never heard before. It's the word madrugada.
Yeah, I've never heard that.
Okay, it's a time of night after the setting of the moon or around an hour before dawn. And it's a word that they have in Spanish that we don't really have a word for here.
All right.
And I thought that was kind of cool.
Very cool.
All right, that's it. So my first bookmarked is Vampires of El Norte. I mean, you guys just look at this. How
Really
gorgeous
Cool. Really cool.
is this? Oh, and this is what I was going to show you. I was so excited about the Hacienda that I painted a bookmark to kind of go with the cover of the book, The Hacienda. Just a little watercolor paint there, no big deal. But that's my bookmark.
That's really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
let's hear what you got.
Yeah, my second book that I'm reading, this is my daytime book. It's not on my June TBR.
It's a library book, y'all.
It's a library book. We were at the Henderson Libraries looking at the bookshop, just browsing the shelves to see what they had available, and it was Neil Gaiman's Neverwhere. Mm-hmm. And it's another one that my brother Bryce,
He recommended that to
recommend this to me too. I've heard it recommended, I think, in the comments of some of our previous videos as well. Get some Neil Gaiman. I've listened to American Gods. We listen to more Norse mythology, so I'm familiar with kind of the way he writes. And I picked this up, and I was like, you know what? I got to read it because I don't want to hold on to it and then have to return it without reading it. And so I started reading it, and I'm flying. I think I'm 50% of the way through, 55% of the way through the book. But what I didn't realize when I picked it up, when I first looked at it, was that this is the illustrated version. So there's illustrations on it. So
is there another version that doesn't have?
Oh yeah. So you can see kind of that pencil style drawing.
That style.
But in between the in the margins.
When you first showed this to me, I thought somebody had done that.
And I've shared this on our Instagram. I kind of showed some examples of this. There's in the margins drawings, and then there are, let me get to one, kind of little pencil sketches that's showing what's being read on that page. There are full, and I'm just right here, chapter 9. They're at the British, full pencil drawings on full pages that are really cool, well done. I'm having a blast. I saw a review of this somewhere. I can't remember where I saw it, but somebody said it's like Harry Potter, but for adults. It takes place in London, but it's set in London Underground, and it's kind of these magical fantasy world. Really cool. I'm sure a lot of you have read it or experienced it, but if you haven't, you definitely should. I'm only halfway through, and I can't wait to get to the end. That's so cool. Also apparently in here the author's preferred text. There's a
what does that mean?
He rewrote this again for another publisher, and then added another foreword. This is what
he wants you to
this is the kind of the preferred way he wants you to read it, I guess.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's just another way to buy another version of the book, but really cool, having fun, and because Taylor painted herself a bookmark, another early Father's Day gift. If you watch the Star Wars episode,
I painted him, pull it back a little bit. I painted him a Thrawn bookmark.
Yeah, Grand Admiral Thrawn. So,
I love painting bookmarks. It's very fun to do that if you're into painting, and it gives you a reason to paint something that's usable.
100%.
Very cool. Okay, so my next bookmarked, and this is on my June TBR. We talked about this in that video where we shared our TBRs, and that is Alchemy by S.J. Paris. I'm gonna pull this over. Here, come closer to me. No, yeah. I just started this today as well. I haven't made it very far, but this is what was this, book 8?
8.
I think it was 8.
We calculated 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, this is book 7.
7.
So this is book 7 in the Giordano Bruno series by S.J. Paris, and this one takes place in Prague. I have not gotten very far, but I know that he is going to be working with John Dee, who was a seer and an alchemist in the court of Queen Elizabeth, but at this time he has since traveled to Prague and is working in Prague, and Giordano Bruno has kind of gone to help him there, because he was in Germany to flee from any kind of, tension that was going on in England. He goes from Germany to Prague to work with John Dee. Something is going on. The game is afoot, and mystery is going to happen, and I can't wait to get into it. Just like starting the book and reading the way that she writes it, and the fact that there's a map. I can't wait to get into this. There is such a really good map in this too, which I really enjoy, and it has the little legend over here. I really appreciate that. Cool. It's kind of cool. So this is going to be fun. So those are my current bookmarks.
Yeah.
All right.
And then now what? Compelling pickups.
We are going to share just one.
One each. We got a bunch.
We have a bunch. Now, when we pick up books, it's either given to us, they are thrifted, they're put in our little free library, and we snatch them up and put something else in there to replace them. We don't go out and buy brand new books every single time. So.
But today's, I think, are.
Yeah, actually today's are. Mine was. You want to go first?
Sure, I'll go first.
I love the cover of this book.
So we were just in Michigan visiting my mom's side of the family,
Hello,
the Murrays.
Everyone. They all seem to watch our little
we were
show
there.
here, which is
great.
awesome.
They were giving us recommendations, asking for it. So thanks for the support, everybody.
Yeah,
we had a blast.
So cool.
But while we were there, we were in the town of St. Joseph, Michigan. Me, you, my 2 brothers. Bryce and Lando, and we stopped in at a bookstore called
Forever
Books. And I picked up this one.
Cover your face a little bit more. You get
All American. All American by Susie Biner. And I was in there. It's a nice little, cool little bookstore, not something massive, local. And I was like, you know what? I want to kind of see what they have. And they had a section of local authors. And I saw this one. I'm drawn to it because it has a picture of a woman holding a baseball glove and ball.
It's just so pretty. Like what you talk about.
Yeah,
like
and
look at how cool this is. Like she's wearing like the little like coat, the knee length coat, and the hat. Everything's like all very feminine, but she's got like a baseball and a glove, and I think that's so cool.
Really kind of cool. And it, I picked it up. It says, it's an autographed copy, so the author autographed. It also included a bookmark and a sticker, kind of about the story. But it's about a girl who kind of grows up in like the 1950s, and she wants nothing to do with like the traditional way of a girl. Home economics is mentioned in the first chapter, not being her thing. She wants to just play baseball. She wants to be part of baseball, play baseball, have the chance. And then something happens, according to the back, with her father being accused of communism during that whole, like, kind of the Red Scare era of U.S. history, that something happens with him. And then she gets this opportunity to go try out and play for a fictional baseball team. But it kind of has the League of Their Own feel to it.
Yeah, I
it
was going to say it's very League of Their Own.
Female baseball player. And, I thought it'd be cool. I kind of sat there while Taylor was browsing and my brother was looking around and read the first, I think, prologue and maybe the first chapter just to give it a feel. And, I said, support the local bookstore here, support a local author in Michigan, and pick it up. Yeah, and this is
great. Is that the team?
Yeah, that's called the Workington Sweet Peas.
So it's a sticker, a decal sticker. You have to hide your face, baby.
I'm trying.
Hold on.
I don't know. It's too...
Let me see it.
There,
Come on, what is it? There it is, the Workington Sweet Peas.
Yeah, so it came with a free sticker, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, a cool little book to pick up and read. So I'll probably crack into this sometime soon and let you know how I thought.
I think that's good. Well, so mine, I didn't find at Forever Books, and I probably would have, but I found this at the Midway Airport in Chicago. They had like a little, like an airport bookstore, but it was really
cool.
Cute. It was
Wasn't
really
there
cute.
like total like
no, it was like
food. It was like a bookstore.
Yeah, super cute. And it's okay. I saw this at that bookstore. I didn't buy it at that bookstore
because we were about to board.
Because we had to board. So I did a quick like snapshot, and then I knew when I got home. I
shared it on Instagram, I think, right?
I did, yeah. So we went to Barnes & Noble when we got back, and I found it. I think it was on sale. Plus we have the Barnes & Noble membership, and I had some rewards, and so I got this for a pretty good price. But this is, hold on, the Hazelbourne Ladies Motorcycle and Flying Club. It's a little bit different than what I have been reading lately, but look how beautiful that cover is.
It's really cool.
It
feels like it's like a nonfiction.
I know, it does kind of have a vibe. This is by Helen Simonson, and it says, a timeless comedy of manners bracing as the British seaside... Wait, excuse me. Of manners, bracing as the British seaside, about a generation of young women facing the seismic changes brought on by war and dreaming of the boundless possibilities of their future. So it's kind of, it's in 1919. We're talking about the culmination of World War I and women who had, hold on, it's, okay, so as the country prepares to celebrate its hard-won peace, Constance and the women of the club are forced to confront the fact that the freedoms they gained during the war are being revoked. So there's this kind of like club called the Hazelbourne Ladies Motorcycle and Flying Club. This young woman gets involved in this club and meets some people, and they're all kind of grappling with how things are changing for women post-war. And there's some romance involved, and just I thought it sounded cozy and comfortable with the historical element of World War I. And I thought, I don't know, just something different, right? And so I'm excited about this one. And I had never seen it. It was the first time I'd seen it, and we'd been to Barnes & Noble so many times, and I had never seen it.
No.
And I know I think it just came out. It's under release. Yeah, 2024. But I'm excited about it. She has written... I found her in the fiction section, and she has a lot of these kind of more cozy books. If you're familiar with her, you can let me know what your thoughts are. But it gets good reviews, and I'm excited to read it. And it's got a cool cover.
Very cool.
Yeah. Those were our books?
Yeah. Oh, do you want me to finish with my quote since you did your quote?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Should we do another one?
If you want.
Okay.
So,
quote of the day.
Can I do two?
Of course.
All right. I'm going to do the first one. This one's from The Spy and the Traitor.
Yeah.
And I think this is very kind of a theme or something that we could all think about even in today's time or in the future, in the past.
I like it.
Paranoia is born of propaganda, ignorance, secrecy, and fear. And so
Yes.
it's, those are the ingredients to paranoia. So thought that was kind of cool because we kind of deal with that all the time.
Yeah.
But then this is one that I got a kick out of today while reading Neverwhere.
Okay.
And it says, the door slid open and they were in Earl's Court.
Hey.
Yeah, because we're the Earls.
We're the Earls.
And we have
a sign up here. It says Earl Court. It's like a street sign.
But it's obviously that's Earl's Court.
So cute. I love
station
that.
in London. Yeah. So those are my two.
That's cool. Okay, well, so in my reading journal, I did put a couple of quotes in here from Diavolia. This book didn't have a lot of beautiful writing, but when it was really good. So you can tell this writer is a good writer. It's whatever. The last line of the book, it says, "It drips and drips. She can think of few more beautiful things than the mess it makes." And I won't tell you what that is. But if that doesn't compel you. Anyway, so
could be anything.
It could be anything. We've had lots of good books lately.
Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you enjoyed yourself at any point, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up.
Like it.
You
gotta subscribe
it. And leave us some comments down below with some of your thoughts.
And also the good books you're reading.
Yep.
And any recommendations you have out there that you think we would like.
Yes, absolutely. And don't forget to follow us over on Instagram. We post other things over there as well. We will see you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.
Bye.